Hard work alone is not enough for you to succeed in corporate America. I've been in that space for over 20 years, and I can tell you when I first got into corporate America, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have the benefit of taking advantage of an internship, and I absolutely didn't have anyone that could have kind of prepped me for what I could expect in that space. Now, if you have any experience working in corporate America, then you understand that it could be one of the most difficult places that you can navigate, especially if you're trying to get ahead. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over 8 hacks that you can implement to help you succeed in corporate America. Hack number 1 is be likable. I know that sounds pretty simple, but just being a likable person can help you get so far, not only just in corporate America, but just in life in general. I know so many people that just want to go to work. They don't want to interact with people. They just want to do their job and they want to go home. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that approach. But if you're looking to get into middle management or upper management, you have to start being social. You have to be likable. You have to go out and you have to go to those social events, the corporate parties. You just have to involve yourself with other people within the organization so you can be likable and start to grow a name for yourself. Let's face it, corporations want to promote people that people like, and people want to work for people that they like and they respect. So being a likable person can get you so much further within the organization. Now, think about this for a moment. We all know someone that we work with that seems to always get the promotions. They always get the preferred jobs, the preferred shifts, or whatever it may be. And we often think to ourselves, like, what are they doing? Like, they're not that good at their job. Whether or not they can actually perform the job, that's not something that I want to talk about for the purposes of these hacks. But if they're a likable person, then the people that are around them are going to give them more preferential treatment when it comes to the type of jobs or promotions that are available. It's just a fact. If you are someone that's just not very sociable at work, but you have a desire to actually climb through the corporate ranks, what I want you to do, start on a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever day after you watch this video, and go into the office with a completely different mindset. You know, maybe go over to someone's desk, ask them how their night was, or just have a general conversation with people and just start to do that every single day. Maybe talk to 2 to 3 different people. Now, I know there's going to be people that leave comments and say, look, that's not my job. I should be able to be promoted based on my merit. And, you know, if in a perfect world, those people would be correct. But if you've ever worked in corporate America, you know that's just simply not the case. Corporations like to promote people that they like. Hack number 2, and this is one where I think a lot of people just get themselves in trouble in general. Stop oversharing so much about your personal life. Now, no, I'm not contradicting myself from hack number 1, which was be more social. I'm talking about stop sharing so much details about what goes on inside your home or within your friend group or just in your life in general. It's okay to have conversations with people, but don't overshare like these people are your friends. Don't ever mistake your colleagues for being your friends, because a lot of times people will use the information that you give them against you. And it's just not something that you want to do, right? You never want to be the person that people in the office are gossiping about. People don't want to hear that you went out all weekend and you drank and you barely slept and you're hungover and it's Monday and you're having a hard time getting through the day. Stop sharing that information. It makes you look bad, and it gives people fuel and ammo to use against you whenever a position may come up in the future, because they may look at you and say, you know what? We like them, right? They're sociable. We like them, but we don't know if they have the right frame to actually be a manager within this organization, for example, right? And I know that rubs people the wrong way sometimes, and that's completely fine. But you have to realize when you work for a corporation, you are a direct reflection of that organization. So if you're out there partying all the time, putting a whole bunch of stuff on social media that makes you look reckless, makes you look bad, if you're arguing with people online and spreading hate and all that other stuff, and you're sharing that information with people that you work with, it's just dangerous. Don't do it. Don't argue with me. Don't piss me off. Hack number 3, and this is something that's a little bit newer that has just come up, where I think that if you are in corporate America, you are doing yourself a disservice if you're not taking advantage of that, and that is learning AI. Let's face it, AI is here to stay and it's not going anywhere. Now, there's a lot of fear out there of people talking about, well, AI is going to be replacing tons of jobs. AI is going to be putting a lot of people in the unemployment line. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the advancements in AI are not going to reduce the amount of headcount that certain careers or professions need to actually function on a day-to-day basis. But with the advancements in AI, it gives us an opportunity to learn a new skill, because just because AI might be replacing a particular profession, we still need people to actually go in to do the work. We still need people to do the coding. We still need people that understand how to use prompts in AI to get what they need. So one example of where you can incorporate AI into your professional world every single day is use it to craft and respond to emails that you send out. If you don't want to sit there for 5 or 10 minutes crafting the perfect email response on something that you need to get out the door because you've got 2 or 3 other things that you're waiting on, leverage AI to do that. It's very simple. One thing I will caution you with is if you're using AI such as ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini, I wouldn't use those on a work device, right? So we have to be smart about this. If you're using any type of AI that's not approved by your organization, you want to maybe use that on a personal device, and then you want to clean that up, and then you can use the output from what you put in as a prompt to respond to an email. Start leveraging AI to make you more efficient in the corporate space. Hack number 4 is be visible. If there is an opportunity for you to step up for a project or for you to take on work that may not be your responsibility, but it's crucial to the advancement of the corporation, volunteer to take on that work. Don't be that person that constantly says, well, that's not my job. Well, that's not my job. Well, my job is this. Well, my job is that. Now, there are certain instances where you may need to put your foot down and not actually take on work that's not going to benefit you in the long run. So you have to be a little bit more strategic in this space whenever you're deciding to take on that additional work. But you never want to be known for the person that has the mentality that they're not a team player, that they're not willing to go above and beyond to help the organization to hit a common goal. Now, one thing that I would recommend is going to your leadership team on a quarterly basis and having a sit down with them and asking them, what are the goals of the organizations for each particular quarter? What are the yearly goals? What are your managers or your directors or your vice presidents' goals for the year? Align yourself to those goals and make sure that you're taking the projects that are aligned to the goals of your boss, your vice president, or the organization. That's how you're going to gain visibility, and that's how people are going to start to view you as someone that can get things done. And when you're known as someone that can get things done, that gets you one step closer to being able to be promoted in the corporate space. Hack number 5 is learning the unwritten rules of the corporation that you're working in. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult because no 2 corporations are the same. There's certain ways that you have to carry yourself within an organization to make sure you're a cultural fit. So, for example, what time do people log off from their computers at the end of the day and leave? Does everybody leave at 5 o'clock? Does everybody leave at 4 o'clock? If everybody's leaving at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, maybe stay till 5:30 sometimes, because people are going to come out and they're going to be like, oh, wow, everybody's gone, but Clarence is still there working and they're getting things done. I can count on him to make sure that if we have deadlines, that he's someone that we can depend on to help us get this done. Is the culture picking up the phone and calling someone and having a conversation, as opposed to sending an email and copying his or her boss or different people within the organization on an email chain that don't need to be involved? Because that can be a dangerous game. Because one thing that I've learned in corporate America is that whenever things go out in an email, you can never really understand or know what the tone is. Some things can come off as aggressive or abrasive, And they're really not. That's happened throughout the course of my career, where I've thought someone was coming off extremely aggressive in an email, where I'd pick up the phone and have a conversation with them, because that's my preferred way to communicate, is picking up the phone or walking down the hall and having a conversation with someone, as opposed to doing it over email. But just understanding those cultural things within an organization can help you to excel and do great things. Hack number 6, document everything. So I talked about maybe going in and having a conversation with your boss or your vice president or your leadership team and understanding what the goals for the year are, so you can take those projects that'll help you gain visibility within upper management. Now, once you're doing that, you want to make sure you document that, right? You took on those extra projects and you worked an additional 60 hours a week over the course of a 2-month period to make sure that it was done, and you have the results to show. Make sure you document that, because when it's time to have your yearly evaluation, or if you're being evaluated for a promotion, you want to make sure that you have detailed documentation of everything that you've brought to the organization and how you impacted the company's bottom line. And you also want to make sure that you document that, because if you decide like, hey, I've hit my ceiling within this organization and I want to go somewhere else, right? I have documented the work that I've done and the successes that I have at this particular organization, that I can then take to a new organization, and I can go through the interview process and I can say, I could show them right here. This is exactly what I completed. This is how I did it. And this was the outcome. Hack number 7 is investing in yourself. When you are in corporate America, there are often times where you could take advantage of so many different things: certifications, courses, education reimbursement. Whenever I got my first job after I get in my undergraduate degree in corporate America, I had a job in the pharma industry. I was in that industry for over 10 years and I held various positions within that organization. But during my time there, I used their tuition reimbursement program to get my MBA. So I was able to work during the day, get my MBA in the evening, while the organization paid 100% of my expenses to get my master's in business. Now, I don't know if there's a ton of companies out there right now that are willing to pay 100% for tuition reimbursement, but if it was available, I took advantage of it. I mean, it was $80,000 that I had to pay for my MBA program, and I didn't have to pay a dime out of pocket. Take advantage of those things, right? If you can go and get certified, I know there were tons of people within the organization that went and got their project management certification, so their PMP. There's some people that are in IT that go get the certifications that people in IT get. Off the top of my head, I can think about like A+ certification. The IT people that are watching this video may laugh, but you understand there's certain things that you can get from an organization that will allow you to invest in yourself. Investing in yourself and taking advantage of what the corporation has to offer can go a long way. Now, I don't want you to walk away and say, oh, the only way that I can invest in myself is if my organization is sponsoring it or paying for it. I'm not saying that. That's just one route. You can obviously go and do things on your own, and I think that you should, right? If you have some interest that may be in a different career field, maybe in a different side hustle, or maybe your organization that you're at just doesn't have the type of like tuition reimbursement. They don't have the certifications that you're looking for. Don't be afraid to set money aside every single month and invest in yourself to level yourself up. Remember, you are in charge of your career, no one else. It's your responsibility. Hack number 8 is knowing when to leave an organization. This is one of the biggest things that I think people face within corporate America, is knowing when it's time to leave. Sometimes you may do all the right things, put in all the hard extra work, and you still may get passed over for a promotion, or there may never be a position that they can actually put you into. And that's when you have to take control of your own career. A lot of times you have to actually leave your organization and go to a new company in order to continue to climb that corporate ladder. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. I know people that have spent their entire careers at one organization. And if you have no aspirations of climbing that corporate ladder or trying to get into that C-suite or trying to become a director or trying to become a manager, I think that's completely fine. But if you have aspirations to advance your career, I wouldn't stay in a job in the same role for more than 3 years. So for example, if I'm in a supervisor role and I want to become a manager at a particular organization and I've been there for 3 years and I have not been promoted into that managerial role, then I'm looking to move to a new organization that will allow me to come in as a manager. Those are the things that you have to do in order to succeed and continue to progress in corporate America. Just remember, nobody's going to give you anything in this world. That's personally and professionally. You have to take charge and take control and take the right steps in order to put yourself in position to win. All right, so there's 8 hacks that can help you to thrive within corporate America. And just remember, success is not just about working hard. It's about being strategic and playing the game the way that it's supposed to be. I wish it wasn't like that, but unfortunately, that's the game when it comes to corporate America. And you have to be well equipped to play it and to win. All right, so what do you guys think about the hacks that I laid out in this video? What would you add to that? Leave a comment down below and let me know, because more importantly, there may be someone that's watching this video in the future, and the comment that you leave could be the comment that helps to propel themselves in their own career path. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.